When I got in this business, it's in '69, and there were no roles for black folks.
Yes.
So I understood that I had to pave my own path. I had to create my own, right? Because I walked in there and it was a built-in no, and I had to find a way to turn those heads around. Such a perfectionist that, you know, she didn't stop short of what, you know, of failure, meaning that she was going for her image and what she saw in her mind, and she wouldn't accept no for an answer on any level. She would go for it, no matter the cost. She just would.
Bianca Lawson, the face you recognize instantly, but the name that somehow never made it to A-list superstardom? For nearly 3 decades, she's been everywhere, from cult classics to teen dramas to prestige. Television always the standout, yet never the headliner. And now, the whispers that have swirled for years are back in the spotlight, thanks to comments from her father, veteran actor Richard Lawson, who carefully dropped the word politics when talking about why her career never fully took off. In Hollywood, politics can mean many things, but when it's coming from someone who was once married into the Knowles family, fans aren't hearing Hollywood politics. They're hearing family politics. And in that gap lives one of the messiest rumors to ever circle around Beyoncé, that she may have quietly kept her own stepsister from rising too. Hi, before we dive into the decades of receipts and speculation, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you believe Bianca Lawson was sabotaged, because your voice in this conversation matters.
Became what it was, you know, in terms of the girls and what they created, and then we kind of lost track of each other throughout those developmental years, and then when we reconnected, you know, there was a lot of affinity that we had and respect.
Let's rewind to the mid-92nd. Bianca was just a teenager when she burst onto the screen in Saved by the Bell: The New Class. From there, she jumped into Buffy the Vampire Slayer, leaving such a strong mark as the Slayer Kendra that fans still talk about her character decades later. She didn't stop there. Dawson's Creek, The Secret Life of the American Teenager, Pretty Little Liars. If you were watching defining shows of any generation, Bianca was there. And unlike many actors who fade in and out, she maintained momentum. She had the kind of face-casting directors loved, and the kind of versatility that let her play teens well into her 32nd. Then came Queen Sugar, a prestige project with Ava DuVernay that should have been the breakthrough. She proved she could handle layered, complex drama, cementing her as more than just a teen drama staple. Yet even with that performance, the blockbuster lead roles and Oscar-level scripts never landed in her lap. That gap between her undeniable talent and her stalled star power is exactly what makes fans suspicious. Because usually, someone with that resume has at least one cultural defining lead role.
The type of man I wanted, I prayed for the type of man I wanted, and I got pretty much that. Is he perfect? Absolutely not, but you know, he has a lot of the qualities. He has a lot of the qualities that I love.
She and my dad get up at 5:45 every morning and do a dance workout at 7, like clockwork, every morning.
Bianca never got it, and people want to know why. Now, let's talk about timing. The late 92nd and early 2002nd weren't easy years for Black actresses. Unless you were Halle Berry or Angela Bassett, the system often kept you in supporting roles, the friend or the girlfriend instead of the lead. But Bianca's case doesn't feel like just bad timing. She had Hollywood connections most aspiring actors would kill for. Her father, Richard Lawson, was an established actor. Her stepmother, Tina Knowles, is a powerhouse in fashion and entertainment. And her stepsisters, Beyoncé and Solange, were redefining Black excellence on a global scale. So how does someone that close to power stay stuck on the sidelines? That's where the sabotage rumors dig in. Fans argue that Bianca wasn't just overlooked, she was actively dimmed. They claim that as Beyoncé was cementing her solo career and building her icon image, the last thing her camp wanted was another stunning, talented Black woman in the family rising in Hollywood, because that would complicate the narrative.
The good thing is that Richard is not a grudge holder. He's not, he won't hold a grudge. I love that about him more than anything else. He probably holds a grudge. He probably does hold a grudge.
I don't.
But you never see it. So he can be so mad at you, and then he'll come and say, "You want me to bring you something to eat?" And it's so.
So I have to ask you, if you are trapped on a desert island, what album are you taking? Lemonade or Seat at the Table?
Oh my God, that's not fair.
I have to ask. They're both amazing.
I'm taking both. I'm taking both. I'm not.
So there's a different love for each one of them. They are super different.
They are very super different, but like both extraordinary and iconic.
Beyoncé had to be the star, the one and only. If Bianca's shine grew too bright, suddenly the spotlight wouldn't be so singular. That's a threat to brand control. And when you're building a billion-dollar empire, brand control is everything. Richard Lawson's comments only fanned the flames. For decades, he's been Bianca's loudest supporter, bragging about her talent on red carpets and praising her work ethic in interviews. But recently, his tone shifted. He said Bianca is one of the most talented actresses working today, but talent doesn't always determine opportunity sometimes. It comes down to politics. He didn't name names, but fans didn't need him to. They connected the dots immediately, tying his words to the long-standing rumors that Beyoncé or her team made sure Bianca stayed in supporting roles. Richard didn't accuse anyone directly, but that's what makes it sting more. The subtlety left room for interpretation, and in internet culture, interpretation becomes fact. For fans who've been saying Bianca was sabotaged since the early 2000s, this felt like confirmation at last. Because if her own father is hinting that outside forces limited her rise, who else could those forces be? Hollywood history only makes these rumors feel more believable. We've seen this before. Diana Ross and Florence Ballard, Madonna allegedly blackballing younger artists, Kris Jenner shaping the Kardashian brand to keep Kim in the spotlight, while Khloe and Kourtney played side characters. Fame is ruthless. Sometimes even family ties can't stop one star from protecting their throne. In fact, family ties can make it worse. The Knowles-Carter empire is built on talent, power, and tight image control. The thought of one sister allegedly blocking another isn't just scandal, it's brand protection at its most ruthless. That's why the theory sticks. Bianca had the look, the talent, the longevity, and the connections. By all accounts, she should have been a household name. Instead, she became the actress you recognize instantly but struggle to name. That kind of career path feels less like coincidence and more like strategy. Fans point to Bianca's roles as proof. She was always cast as the friend, the cousin, the recurring standout who never became the central character. She stole every scene, but was never allowed to be the face on the billboard. And yet Beyoncé, during the same period, was moving into film roles that elevated her brand. Dreamgirls, Obsessed, Cadillac Records. Both women were in Hollywood, both talented, both in their prime, but only one was allowed to dominate headlines. Bianca's career became a case of always the bridesmaid, never the bride. That pattern is too consistent to ignore, and the internet has done the math. The timing overlaps perfectly with Beyoncé's rise to global superstardom, and to fans, that can't be coincidence. They believe Bianca's lane was kept deliberately narrow to ensure Beyoncé's empire stayed unchallenged. Of course, the fan war exploded. Bianca loyalists who've been watching her since Buffy the Vampire Slayer argue this is exactly what happened. They've been waiting for her to get her flowers, and Richard Lawson's comments were the confirmation they needed. On the other hand, Beyoncé's hive came out swinging, dismissing the theory as nothing but projection. They argue that Bianca simply chose character-driven roles over chasing fame, and that not everyone wants the chaos of A-list status. Both sides have points, but the fact that the debate exists at all shows how messy it's become. Because this isn't just a Hollywood rumor anymore, it's family drama. When it's blood versus brand, betrayal real or imagined always hits harder. That's why comment sections are on fire. People aren't just debating careers, they're debating whether Beyoncé sabotaged her own stepsister to protect her throne, and that storyline is too juicy to die. Another factor that fuels suspicion is Beyoncé's reputation as a perfectionist. Everyone knows she is fiercely protective of her image and her brand. She goes for what she wants and doesn't take no for an answer. That drive is exactly what made her an icon, but it also sparks speculation. If she was willing to fight tooth and nail for her own career, would she really have allowed another star to rise under the same family umbrella? Some fans believe the answer is no. They argue that Beyoncé's camp made sure the family spotlight was focused solely on her, leaving no room for a breakout Bianca moment. Imagine the headlines if Bianca had landed a blockbuster role at the height of Beyoncé's rise. Beyoncé's stepsister conquers Hollywood. Suddenly, the brand story gets messy. And if there's one thing the Carters don't do, it's messy. So instead, Bianca became the eternal supporting star, while Beyoncé reigned supreme. The internet has also dug up old blind items, Tumblr threads, and gossip site whispers from the 2002 that hinted at a world-famous singer quietly keeping another woman in her circle from breaking out. Fans are now revisiting those posts and saying they make sense in hindsight. They point to how Destiny's Child shifted lineups until Beyoncé was the unchallenged frontwoman, and how other members never found major solo success. To them, it's part of a pattern. Beyoncé thrives, but those around her struggle to step into the spotlight. Whether that's fair or not doesn't matter anymore, because perception is power. And the perception is that Beyoncé's empire has always come first, even if it meant dimming others, including family. That perception alone is enough to keep this rumor alive, no matter what the truth is. At the heart of it all is Bianca herself. She's delivered flawless performances for decades, crossing genres, defining eras, and earning the respect of her peers. Directors rave about her work ethic, co-stars praise her range, and fans adore her consistency. In any other world, she'd be headlining movies, winning Emmys, and collecting blockbuster franchises. Instead, she's the professional scene stealer, the actress you always notice, but Hollywood never crowned. That gap between her talent and her recognition is what makes the sabotage theory so sticky, because it feels too big to chalk up to chance. Whether Beyoncé actually pulled strings or not almost doesn't matter anymore. The internet has decided there's smoke, and where there's smoke, people believe there's fire. Richard Lawson's quiet confirmation gave the theory new life, and now Bianca's name is trending again for the very reasons she should have been trending all along: her undeniable talent and the star power that was never fully realized. So what happens now? Bianca will likely keep doing what she's always done, taking the roles, delivering the performances, and proving her consistency. Beyoncé will continue to rule as untouchable, unbothered Queen Bey, and Richard Lawson may never say another word on the subject. But the debate is alive, the rumor is thriving, and Bianca's career is being re-examined through a new lens. Whether Beyoncé sabotaged her stepsister or not, the fact is Bianca Lawson is finally being talked about with the respect she always deserved. And in an industry where visibility is power, maybe this messy family drama will do what Hollywood politics never did: put Bianca Lawson's name exactly where it belongs. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. This scandal might actually give Bianca the spotlight she was denied for years. The internet has a way of rewriting narratives, and right now, people are rewatching Bianca's old roles with fresh eyes. Clips from Buffy and Queen Sugar are trending on TikTok, fan edits are circulating on Twitter, and suddenly Bianca Lawson is being celebrated as the unsung legend of television. This wave of attention might not erase the decades she spent in supporting roles, but it's making people question the machine behind Hollywood fame. How many other actresses were sidelined to protect bigger stars? How many careers were quietly redirected so that only one narrative shined? Bianca's resurgence as a cultural conversation is proof that sometimes the truth doesn't need confirmation, it just needs attention. And right now, the attention is finally on her. At the end of the day, whether Beyoncé had a hand in this or not, Bianca Lawson's story forces us to confront the dark side of fame. Talent doesn't guarantee opportunity, and family doesn't guarantee support. Sometimes the brightest lights are dimmed not by lack of skill, but by power plays happening in the shadows. And that's why people can't let this rumor go, because it feels believable, it feels messy, and it feels like the kind of family drama Hollywood loves to hide. Bianca Lawson will always be remembered as the actress who could have been a superstar, and Richard Lawson's quiet words may go down as the moment the internet decided she was sabotaged. Whether true or not, the legacy is already shifting, and Bianca's name is finally ringing louder than it has in years.